I'm Robert Firpo Cappiello, editor-in-chief at Hospitality Technology, and I am talking all things AI with Frank Pitsikalis from Agilysys and Mike Blake from KemperSports. Frank and Mike, welcome to the conversation. I want to give you each an opportunity to introduce yourselves to the Hospitality Technology audience. Frank from Agilysys, let's start with you. Tell us who you are and what you do.
So I am the Senior Vice President of Product Strategy for hotels at Agilysys. Been here 4 years, former founder and CEO of Resort Suite. And so we're doing some really exciting things and based on our topic today on AI. So excited to be here.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
I'm
Rob.
psyched to get the conversation started. Mike Blake from KemperSports, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, Robert. Once again, thanks for having me. I am Mike Blake, the head of IT for KemperSports. And for many who don't know KemperSports, we own, we lease, and we manage golf courses. So a very similar model than what we're all used to in the hotel world. But instead of having hotels, we have golf courses. And we have upwards in the neighborhood of 200 of them and some fine destination courses too. So with that, Robert, thank you very much for having me and looking forward to the discussion.
Great. Yeah, I am too. And I know I've discussed various tech issues related to hotels with both of you over the years, and psyched to dive in. And just to be clear, when I say we're talking all things AI, we may, what we're talking about may touch on machine learning, generative AI, agentic AI. At the moment, we're really interested in giving hotel operators the guidance they need to move in the right direction. So my first question is for both of you. What areas are you seeing AI already making a difference in hotel operations? And Frank, let's start with you.
Sure, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on it. It's all of those approaches to AI in terms of machine learning. That's one that's been around a while, and we continue to take advantage of it. From a revenue management perspective, when you're doing upgrade pricing, a lot of the revenue management tools do their job before the guest makes the reservation, but once they make the reservation, it's not there. So knowing how to price upgrades, knowing how to optimize, Mike, represents some incredible iconic golf courses. So knowing how to manage against all the various segments that you serve for golf to make sure that you're selling, the right round to the right guest at the right price, the right time, right? And so that ability to go beyond your hotel room revenue and really look at all of your amenities, because Mike's not a hotel, it's not a hotel with a golf course. It's a golf course with a hotel, right? And so in a lot of ways, you need to look at the business and how AI can assist in pricing things in your spas using dynamic availability to offer the right treatments at the right time at the right price. And then we're now moving into conversational ordering, when you're ordering food service. A guest may like Siri, our guests are coming in conditioned, already using sort of agentic AI to do certain things in their life. So the ability to do conversational reservations, we do things like invoice and purchase orders, scanning that automatically get it into the system. So there's a lot of uses of AI where we can make things more efficient. And really, the big one for me is personalization at scale. So that's where we're seeing, the ability to now centralize guest information and be able to act on it with AI.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a most valuable player on your team. It sounds like in many ways. Mike, eager to hear your thoughts, piggybacking on what Frank just said.
Yeah, I think, and Frank is one of our partners because we very much use Agilysys within the context of our destination, of our very iconic destination courses like a stream song. So what we do is I would kind of break it up a little bit, Robert, to kind of the easy stuff and then the kind of the later avail strategy. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that because the easy stuff is basically marketing and some of the back office functions. Really, speeding up their customer interaction, right? So easy, kind of that easy stuff where, they used to spend a lot of time on trying to word a document or trying to figure out how to best articulate to a customer what an issue is or what have you. Now they can actually get about 85 to 90% there, and boom, it takes them a little bit of time to kind of crank through that. So it takes a lot, it starts shifting the work, right, Robert? And then
Mhm.
we're actually introducing some AI components in our customer service area and our reservations group. And we found it's an incredible tool when it is used with the ability to make even something like a simple reservation, right? Because immediately we have some elements of a script, and the AI listening tool is actually listening to those components of a script. And as the agent hits those points, it starts checking them off. And then as they get to the last point, it starts to blink a little on them. And then boom, they hit that and they're done and they get a little confetti, right? I'm telling you, the confetti is magic, Robert,
Uh-huh.
because people love to get that and they love to have that level of assurance. We're already seeing call time duration go down, and we're seeing conversion actually go up. So, this is kind of AI in action. Now, let's take it to the next level where I do think that, partners like Frank and team and, the strength of Agilysys with this avail strategy, and this is kind of what we've kind of seen it within the context of that customer service thing I just mentioned. You start getting into this, what AI is embedded within the tool, right? So it's not like an explicit strategy. It's there and it's making itself useful within the context of the tool and offering suggestions and what have you. I
Mhm.
think that's kind of the way for most of us to digest a lot of these AI innovations. I mean, I know there's some out there who are trying to build their own LLM and doing all this crazy stuff where they're trying to load everything in there and go head to head with the rest of us. Great. Please do that. Do great things, and I'll follow you quickly.
Mhm. This is fantastic. What you're both talking about also leads to another thought I had. Like Mike, the confetti story that you just told kind of gave me a chill. Like there was an emotional component
Yeah.
to that. And I do get questions from like hotel guests, friends and family, and then of course professionally from hotel operators and restaurant operators. They say like, can AI affect the guest experience in a way that's truly personal? We're not talking about people here. We're talking about machines. Can they affect it in a personal way? And I would love to hear both of you with thoughts on that. Frank, what do you think? You mentioned personalization specifically.
Yeah, I mean, when I said personalization at scale, like we just launched. So we at Agilysys, we had something what we called common profile, which was across all of our systems. There was but it really was just name, address, but it was the same guest information shared across all the operations. About a year ago, we launched our intelligent guest profile at Inspire. Mike was at our conference, and it's really about now taking more information about the guest, their spend across rooms, dining, spa, golf, activities, seeing their itinerary, the single guest itinerary across all of those areas, their guest preferences, room preferences, spa preferences, dining, and I might in the spa, I might say, I'd like herbal decaffeinated tea with lemon when I'm waiting for my spa treatment. But when they go for dinner, server brings them after dinner, brings them a selection of herbal teas, right? Making it personal, right? And then the ability to do upgrades that are really personal, right? Looking at the guest and saying, like Mike's team might, we might see that this is an avid golfer and we're going to offer them 50% off playing their signature red course tomorrow if they'd like. We can add them to, as a fourth player to a group, and they would really value that, right? They feel like that was really personalized. We also launched something called Spend, which is stay package entitlements, new dynamic booking. And with Spend, it basically allows you to do packages that might include golf and spa and dining and other things. But then now what we're evolving to is having look at your profile and say, Mike likes to play his golf early in the morning, right? He likes to have his spa treatments in the afternoon, and he likes dinner around 7 o'clock. So we're going to create an itinerary, a curated itinerary of that package, and we're going to offer it, and maybe in a couple of variations, but we're going to offer it instead of him having to go book everything. All of his entitlements in his package are going to get booked, and we're going to offer that itinerary to him that's going to feel truly personalized. We know, Mike, you like, to play golf in the early morning, so we've reserved these tee times for you and everything else. So it's really about understanding the guest and offering to them something that they value and feels personal.
It reminds me of that very special moment that doesn't happen often enough in hospitality, where you're like, wow, they really remembered, they really paid attention to me, and their offer is spot on. That really resonates with me. Mike, what do you think?
Well, I'm sure there's somebody listening right now saying, I heard this. It's all the same. Yeah, we've had guest profiles forever, and, we have a loyalty number. We know how somebody stays. We have all this stuff. We know if they like feather pillows or not, or a high floor. I really think this is different, Robert. This is absolutely getting into a level of, not to be creepy, but, it's one of those intimacy type things, right? Where you really get to understand somebody and what they prefer and what they like. And sure, there's like a barrier that you don't want to cross, but there is a point in time where you can enhance the guest experience. And that's really what we're talking about. And what Frank is setting up and what we're seeing in the intelligent guest profile and some of these other offerings, and being able to put together an itinerary much quicker, right? Because a lot of people are out there trying to, I'll take some of this, I'll take a little bit of this. But if we know them, we're able to serve that up to them. So you don't have to have, a bunch of crazy offerings. You can just give them kind of, well, here's that. But if they do want the crazy offerings, they can still get them. Don't get me wrong. But we will offer them what they most likely would choose, right? And and it's gonna get better and better and better as we build on the space. And that's what I think is different. It feels like, we're kind of setting the table and now we're getting ready to eat, because this is absolutely a pretty exciting time to be in technology and in hospitality, because I think finally these elements that we've been talking about, a data warehouse, a data lake house, or whatever, I mean, they're all coming together now. And we can start utilizing this data for a better guest experience. And I think it's going to be a differentiated type of offering. And that's what the magic is going to be, because people are going to value that level of experience.
I'm getting excited about this myself, and I definitely hear your point that AI is taking this idea of personalization to a whole other level. This goes beyond what we've been hearing for years. Mike, I want to stick with you for a second and then give Frank the last word on this conversation, because I want to pretend I'm a hotel operator with a modest, say, average tech spend. And my big question is like, where do I get started with AI? I hear AI can do everything. Where should I get started? Mike, what would your advice be to me?
Well, I think you can start easy, right? So go after the chat GPTs, get a paid subscription, and don't share the model. That's kind of a security thing in me. Don't, just pay the $20 or whatever it is a month. That's the right subscription fee. Don't just use the free one. So that's the one thing and that's an easy way to get started, Robert. So if you're modest, $20 a month or $30 a month, that ain't bad. You do Copilot, for God's sakes. I mean, either one of those, just start slow. The second thing is look at your stack, look at the app stack, look at the ones where are you really happy with what's being delivered to you? And if you're not, it's a good time to make a change. Find partners who are innovative, find partners who are excited about the future. And I'll leave you with this, Robert, because this concept of personalization at scale, which Frank alluded to, that's going to be the magic. I think we're going to be in a world. I know of a company right now who's in kind of its stealth mode, so I really shouldn't be saying anything, but they're going to start developing this concept of personalization and scripting. So imagine being able to give a someone on the front desk a script specific to Robert. So Robert, welcome. This is your fifth time here. Really appreciate it. Keeps and it can keep going on, but it's scripted and it's like it manages that interaction.
Mhm.
And think if you could do that with servers, if you could do that throughout the course, it's just absolutely managing that experience from beginning to end.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. That's a great closing thought, Mike. Thanks. And Frank from Agilysys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what your advice to a hotel operator would be who wants to get started, if you will, on AI.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mike's advice, and ultimately AI, the power of AI is going to be about data. Is like, what data do you have, right? And it doesn't matter if you're in a connected ecosystem or have multiple vendors, but what you need to start with is, how are these systems connected so that AI can make the best decisions, right? And be able to augment your staff. And Mike brought up a great example of the power of being able to make your staff better, right? Is having that information. So it's not just information that sits in a data lake somewhere for your marketing team to do some marketing. It's having the data at the moment that you need it, right? And that's what our intelligent guest profile just is all about, is having data at the point of contact with the guest, at the front desk, the golf course, at the spa, and being able to act and make that interaction truly personal, right? It's about making your guest better host, making your staff better hosts. Free them up from the technical details of having to search for a bunch of information or having to make transactional things, where a guest can easily check in on their phone and do other things and use automation in a way that feels easy, and then let the staff be freed up to really provide that true one-to-one experience that really embodies hospitality, right? And so that's the industry we're all in. But how can technology, how can AI just make us better? It's kind of like that movie Limitless, right? He took some pill and all of a sudden he's the best version of himself, right? That's what we want to make our staff, is just the best versions of themselves, in not a creepy way, but just being able to truly personalize that experience, and continue to give guests choice. If they don't want to talk to AI concierge, they'd rather speak to a human, they should be able to do that, right? But again, by having some portion of guests using AI, you're going to be freeing up your staff to be those better hosts. So I think there's that balancing act, and choice is important in the age of AI.
This has been fantastic. You two you're two of my favorite thought leaders, and you exceeded expectations today in this conversation. I'm very psyched to see how this progresses. So Mike Blake from KemperSports and Frank Pitsikalis from Agilysys, I appreciate your time and thanks for the inspiration.